evening and welcome to my program, The Insight. Before I start my program, I'll take a pause to remember our heroes, men and women who sacrificed their life for their country and king. For those who were wounded but still they didn't care about their own lives, they still served for their country. This is so important to remember those braves. Today is 11th of November, which is a Remembrance Day, and I think it is such a good start to start my own program, and I have to remember them. I am joined by a very renowned guest who has been my guest for so many years in my different television programs. She is a consultant psychiatrist, Dr. Razia Hussain. Welcome to my program, Dr. Razia.
Thank you very much, Meena. First of all, good evening to all your viewers and listeners, and thank you very much for having me here on this platform again to serve the community. As usual, you have really had a lot of contribution from the DM Digital in the beginning as well. I remember those days.
Yes,
when you
those
served,
were the days.
And those were the days when you did a lot for the community, for the mental health awareness days and
yes,
many other programs. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you so
know
much
I'm not very good in television programs, so you have to handle me today.
Well, I don't
I'm not a media person. I'm not an expert at all, but I have come just for the Remembrance Day because it has been a very emotional day for me and all of us. We should not be forgetting our heroes. So I said, Samina has called me on a Remembrance Day. I have to go. Thank you so much.
And thank you very much. You're wearing a poppy. I was in such a rush, I just forgot in my car. But anyway, I think you have to remember your heroes, not just by any gesture, but it is something you have in your heart, the respect for them.
Yes.
And for their lives.
And I think Dr. Malik has displayed the certificate of my own father as well, so who served on those days.
It is so important to recognize those
as a medic,
sacrifices as a medic, yeah.
Heroes
and I think we can see that on the screen.
Yes,
KK Hussain, this is something they will be remembered forever in the history. So that is actually the biggest award or medal anybody can get. But still, we remember them every year, once a year. It's not like that. I think we remember them every day. That's
Definitely.
how I'll put it this
Definitely.
way. And I do not agree with the statement you made earlier on that you're not good on television.
Oh,
you are perfectly fine. You can speak well, so eloquently.
Yeah.
So better than I. So
thank you very much. No better than you. You are the best presenter, I think. You had
Thank you so much. So actually, I would like to start my program, and especially your expertise are so important and valuable. I mean, you're a consultant psychiatrist. I'm sure it must be very hard to deal with those sensitive patients with mental health conditions. You have your own experience, but what I want to discuss today actually, why and how you came into this field, and especially recently we had a very unfortunate incident of train stabbing, and whenever these kind of incidents happen, whether a knife crime or any stabbing happened, and we found out at the end of the investigation that patient was suffering through some mental illnesses. How come they're related to each other, and why this mental illness issue in this country has gone it has increased, unfortunately?
First of all, you asked me about how I joined this practice and how I joined this specialty. I would say, Meena, that I'm not the only one. Every doctor, nurse has a compassion for the patients, whichever specialty they are working.
So important.
Yes, but psychiatric practice is totally different from that. This medicine is so much integrated with the mind, mood, thoughts. It can be very challenging. The challenges in the other practices are different, but challenges within psychiatry is totally different. But how you said how I came. I think I developed a compassion from a very early age, and that grew with me. And the gravity of that compassion brought me to psychiatry. I wanted to know what people think and how it's related to their thoughts, mind, and how they behave eventually. I also believe that mind should be listened, and I'm a good listener. And since I've joined the psychiatry, I'm really enjoying this practice so much.
Excellent.
I'm glad that I have selected this. And now the way the mental health services are going and the mental health problems are escalating day by day, and I think I'm in the right field. Thank you.
Excellent. That's very good to hear. And if you are in a certain specific, whether it's medicine, it's mental health, I think whatever the speciality is, if you don't have a compassion and a passion, then you
Yes.
can't do that properly. So that's
Yes.
very important. And in your field, compassion is definitely
Yeah,
really
definitely.
important. So
And
let's
without
come to the-
compassion, you don't fit in any branch of medicine at all.
Exactly.
Yes.
So let's come to the second part of the question with regards to recent train stabbing and why people's mental health has gone so they're so deteriorated that they are involved in such type of crimes, heinous crime, where they can kill so many people at a large scale.
Before I can discuss this thing, I would like to request your viewers, if somebody who has an existing mental health problems, or it's difficult for them to listen to this conversation, and this can make them unwell, is on their discretion whether they would like to continue to listen to this. If it's not possible for them, they can always switch on to another program, because these moments can be distressing for them, refreshing their own memories and own traumas. So I wouldn't like them to go through a difficult time. Yes, it has been a very tragic event, I must say. We have not already forgotten the Southport incident, and later on there was a synagogue incident as well recently in Manchester, which people are not even forgetting and forgiving when people are worshipping, right? So it's so much going through people's mind at the moment because of their existing mental health problems. They are not coming to the services, they are not taking the medications they've been prescribed. Or secondly, I would say the psychoactive substances are playing a lot of role in that. Like the people who are taking illicit drugs. Like if somebody says, I'm taking only cannabis, you don't know what is mixed with. So people are really having a huge and profound issues with the mental health by taking all that, and I would request everyone not to take anything which is not prescribed by their doctors. So illicit drugs, street drugs, or maybe the people have existing mental, as I said before, problems, and they have not been addressed, the issues have not been addressed, they've not been treated, and it comes to a stage when they are really so much psychotic and so much diminished with their responsibilities. And again, I would say, I don't know whether this person has a mental health issue or not.
Such an important point you have just raised, that if someone is on drugs, taking drugs, and it can impact their mental health. Would you mind if you can just elaborate a bit further that what kind of drugs are actually the one who can just play with their mental health?
On medical grounds, there are, I think, there are drugs which are, I would say, illicit drugs which are not prescribed. And that there's a heroin which is extremely suppressant to the central nervous system, which can cause very detrimental effect to your physical and mental health before. And in overdoses, accidental overdose, when people take more than that, there have been accidental deaths as well. But there are other amphetamine-based medications, drugs as well, which people have been taking without prescription and without the need of this. There can be a lot of effect on the mental health, huge anxieties, psychotic episodes as well, hallucinogens as well, which can cause hallucinations. So ketamine has been used quite a lot as well, which can be very dangerous drug, and which people are really not insightful at all. They're very much detached from the reality when they take these drugs. So drugs have been playing a lot of role.
Yeah.
I don't know whether this person has a mental health issues or mental health card should not be played if he doesn't have the mental health issue. This brutality is not forgotten and forgiven.
Exactly.
Because
it's not an excuse to kill another one's life. Yeah.
I think he should have full forensic assessment and full psychiatric assessment as well, whether he had mental health issues or not. So if he, even if the mental health issues, then again, it has to be dealt with. This person is not safe in the community.
No.
This person should not be mixing with the community.
Yeah.
Public health and public safety is paramount, and
Exactly.
it's everybody's the duty to protect the public. And I think the Honourable Court would never allow him to be in the community ever again. Without the discussion. Obviously, I'm not a legal expert, but I'm just giving my views about that.
No, I think you're
because
perfectly
it's so upsetting.
right.
Look at, we have not forgotten those three angels,
No.
those girls
Yeah.
who were having leisure and pleasure by dancing in their nursery, the school, wherever.
Yeah.
We have not forgotten. I still feel for them so much. And imagine their own parents, what would they be going through? And later on, we had another incident on a religious place when people are worshipping at that time. That is not allowed. It should not happen at all.
Absolutely unacceptable.
And now, I was just thinking the other day when the train incident happened, people travel on the train to make a safe journey, to take them off the road, that the journey will be safer.
Yeah.
And they didn't know the journey will be so much traumatic for them, to have life-threatening injuries. So now I was just thinking, people who have sustained injuries, what their mental health will be like, and those who have witnessed those incidents, that will be very traumatic for them, and they will be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, which can be with them for years. So I'm also thinking that, look at that, those incidents when it happened, and for 7 to 8 minutes the train could not stop. Obviously the train driver had to stop somewhere where he can have help. In such a contained environment, when somebody is waving and threatening and stabbing people, it must be really very, very traumatic. People can have a heart attack and failure or whatever. They can have the other physical consequences as well if they were not stabbed at that time. They can be very much frightened, and I don't know whether there were children in that train as well. It can be. So once again I say, if it's distressing for people, please switch the television on and you can always watch another program. I think Dr. Malik has also have the message as well before. Yes, this brutality is increasing day by day. I was thinking actually this morning, it's everybody's the duty to protect. If there are household, or if there are any other people who know that this person can be violent or have a potential of violence, and why somebody should be ordering machete and buying these knives.
And why they're allowed to?
Why is it allowed?
Yeah.
And if it's happening in a household, they should be reporting it. We should protect our public. We should be living in a peaceful world. We should do something. Now the time has come that we should be looking at every barrier to stop it.
Yeah.
Every single barrier to stop it. Everybody, you, me, we all should be looking at how can we be safer in this world and peaceful in this world.
So you have made another very interesting point, that whoever was involved in that stabbing, who actually initiated it, okay, there might be some issue with his mental health, and he might needed help, but there are so many people now, that incident must have affected their mental health. The people who sustained those wounds, the people who were watching him when he was doing that brutality, and obviously when people have seen it on the even on their television screens, it must have so much traumatic effect on their mental health. Yeah.
Horrific, I would say, and unfortunately it has happened. It will affect people, and I was listening to the program the other day. There was many people who say they can never travel in a train. How sad! How sad! Travel in a train is the safest way of traveling. It is a public transport. So I would say that there should be the police officers on the train to protect the public, and then people should be traveling on the train. It is the safest journey, and let's see how can we make this world safe.
Definitely. We can all try, and that's why I think we are discussing this today, is to raise awareness that if you have a mental health issue, please speak to a doctor or take legal help, medical advice and medical help. That's the best way to treat yourself and obviously to protect your loved ones as well.
Yeah. As Meena, the services are available. Now it's initial response service where you can tell them and call them. Before it used to be crisis team, home treatment team, crisis resolution home treatment team. Now it's an initial response service as well, where you can ring and ask for help if you have any problems. Obviously, you should be listened to and you should be provided help. And it all depends if you come forward and ask for help. There's a lot of stigma still stigma. It persists, there's still stigma going on for mental health. It should not be. Mind is just like your heart, your liver, your kidney, any other organ. If something goes wrong with the mind, you should be asking for help.
Yeah.
And get the support and get it sorted.
Right. Now, my next question would be that, as you mentioned, that mental health, there's a stigma and it is very difficult to accept, oh, I'm going through some mental illness. Like it could be I'm anxious, I have any bad thoughts going through my mind. It is difficult to accept it. Even if you accept it, it is difficult to explain it, because you need a family or friend who can understand your situation and can help and guide you, but unfortunately it's not all the time available, this kind of help. So in this context, how important is mental health as compared to our other physical health?
Mental health, physical health, both are very, very important. Physical health, some of the physical health issues can cause mental health issues as well. Like if you're in pain, you won't be in a right state of mind. Your mood will be irritable. You would not be able to have a good mental well-being in a dynamic state of mind to make the right decision. So mental health goes along with the physical health, the mental health. If some, like I give you an example, if somebody is suffering from arthritis and doesn't have the good mobility and does not function like any other person, and the way they were functioning before this illness, before having this morbidity, they will be suffering from depression and anxiety, that they are not functioning to the level what they were before. So I would say physical and mental health go side by side. They should be addressed. There are certain phases of depression and kind of depression, like post-stroke depression. After stroke, you can have depression. If you have a stroke, you're not functioning to the same level what you were functioning before. So you can have a depression for after that as well. So I would say physical and mental health are both very, very important. But nowadays, the mental health is escalating because of the internal and external stresses. And people are not identifying the stresses earlier and not fostering the strategies to cope with those stresses. That is called good mental well-being. So good mental well-being is when you look after yourself, and you have to be compassionate to yourself as well. Good sleep, good diet, social interactions is a good thing, and seeing your friends, family, talking to them if you have any problems is a good thing to do. I think nowadays social isolation is playing a role as well. People are spending more time at home, which is not good as well. I remember my father used to say,
working from home, you mean?
Working from home. You can work from home. Sometimes it's suitable for people. I wouldn't criticize anyone.
Same here. Like, I can't do that.
No, I can't. But if it suits people, yes, they can. But I would say social interaction is very, very important.
Yes.
I remember my father used to say, if you have a good friend, you will not need a psychiatrist.
No.
So
true.
Remember that.
So true.
You need friends, you need your family. If you have some problems, you must be addressing it and seek advice and help.
So now, look, another good point. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Working from home. I know COVID happened and then everything changed. And I think, I wish we can go back pre-COVID. The world can go back, but no, we have gone in a different direction. Like people normally say that world is different after World War I and World War II, and I think life is completely different after this COVID. Now this work from home, and people does not realize that they're happy. We are sitting at home, we don't have to wake up early morning, or we have to commute to our workplaces and just get up and open up your laptop and start working. How important and crucial it is you have to go out, get that fresh air, meet with your colleague, talk to them. That lunch is making tea, I'm making a coffee, do you want tea? You're all missing that. I can't do that. I mean, even if I've been given a choice, one day or twice a week, I'm happy. But I can't do that every day.
Join the club. I think even if you go to your office or work even for 2 to 3 hours and work the rest of the day from home, how your organization has planned for you, that is a different matter. But I would say every lady has to dress up in the morning, put their makeup on, put their lipsticks on, suit and boot, go to work and have some kind of interactions, and don't forget that we are losing the skills, we are forgetting the social skills, and meeting people, your colleague, and having interactions, I think matters a lot. You remember, Smina, you said that during the COVID time more people were working from home. If you were working from home, there were more incident of domestic violence. People were suffering from depression and anxieties. They wanted to come out of the houses. That's why there was some breaches of the the rules and regulations at that time, that you do not have to mix. Some people did out of frustration. So I would say, yes, social interaction is very, very important.
Very important.
Very, very important.
So do you think, will that change the world, this working from home pattern? Do you think it will ever change and people will come back to physical places to work?
It depends upon person to person. As you said, you can't. I'm saying I can't. So I
That
have
book.
to, I have to come out. I have to come out. I have to dress up, and I have to come out of this.
Exactly.
So
We're missing
I
them.
have to spend time out in my with my nurses and listen to the stories and see my patients, and that is such a sense of achievement which gives me so much satisfaction that I've done something. And my work cannot be done from home. Even if it was done
Yeah, you
from
have to see
home, I
patients, yeah.
wouldn't. I would like to see my patient face to face. I want to listen to them. I want to see how they look and what is happening and what is happening with my organization. I like to work. I like to join people. I'm a people's person. I think that's why I'm a psychiatrist.
Yeah, probably.
Because I'm people's
Yeah,
person.
Definitely, definitely. Right. Another, in terms of a little bit clinical, this question, people on controlled drugs. And what I have observed and noticed, and I'm sure you must have noted as well, that then they are dependent on those controlled drugs forever, and sometimes they just think, oh, if they don't get these kind of drugs or can't continue with them, they might never be able to recover for any other illnesses. Do you think these controlled drugs also play a very important part in their mental health?
It does, definitely. Dependence, psychological, physical, spiritual, whatever dependence, it's no good at all. If you're dependent upon some drugs, there are rehabilitation centers. It's not that they cannot come off these.
But people doesn't want to do that.
Well, it's the
Go that
choice then,
route.
isn't it? They
Yeah.
are adult.
Yeah.
They can make the decisions. They have the mental capacity. If they have the mental capacity to take the drugs, they have the mental capacity to
Not to take the drug.
not to take the drug as well. So rehabilitation centers are there, and mental health services are provided. There are drug and alcohol units which are providing a lot of support to these people. It's just a matter of coming forward. I would advise not to take anything which is not needed. Which is not needed. Even if a painkiller or multivitamin, if your body is not deficient of that, don't take it. Just go along with what your doctor prescribed. That is very, very important. As you said, I think you mixed two things. Dependence is quite dangerous for your physical and mental health both, and you can come off it. Yes, it's difficult, it takes time. It's not like a switch on and off button or an overnight, but rehabilitation centers are there. Drug alcohol units are there. Our very good, great nurses are working there. They do the initial assessment. Doctors are working there, and they are helping people to come off. I myself worked in a drug alcohol unit, where there were rehabilitations, and there were some strategies and policies which you prescribe for as an alternative to the addictive drugs, and they do come off. People do come off. But what happens is, as soon as they come out, they start taking it again.
And they
but
start
it's
taking
the
it again.
choice, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yes.
It's the choice.
Exactly. That another thing which is very important for women to understand, which unfortunately women of Asian origin, predominantly Pakistan or Indian or Bengali women, it is sometimes they don't even know what's postnatal, what's prenatal depression.
Yeah.
They go through postnatal depression, they go through prenatal depression as well, but they don't understand what it is. Even their families don't understand that her hormones level are so high and she's going through. And then obviously the thing which people have started discussing now, but I think even our mothers didn't know what it was menopause, and it also increases your stress levels. How a woman can, I'm sure coming from you, they might take it seriously, can look after themselves.
Definitely, a woman has a right to look after themselves, whether this antenatal period or the postnatal period. I think this is how we initiated when DM Digital was there. We initiated our first program that women were suffering from postnatal depression and they were not accessing the services. And you remember, in the very first program, I said that the women are taking me on the side in weddings and in other ceremonies, and they are telling me, oh, I'm depressed, I'm this, they were tearful at times as well, and I advise them, please go and see your doctor, go and see the GP. He will refer you to the psychiatrist. You take the antidepressant, you take the talking therapy, and you do get better. Yes, postnatal depression, sometimes if it's a first child or maybe a second child, if there's no extra support available to the women, and first child or second child or third child can be sometimes overwhelming to look after the child, home, yourself, and you need a support at that time. You can suffer from depression. If depression at that time is not treated, it can go into psychosis.
True.
So I would say the depression, as I said before, should be picked up. Depression or whatsoever anxiety, whatever mental health issues you have, it should be addressed, and it should be treated as soon as possible. Interactions are really important. Early intervention is the right answer to all these problems.
So you're advising them to discuss about it, communicate. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously to the doctors.
Yeah. With the doctor. This is
And if they have a family, like if they have any problems which can be resolved, not all the time they need antidepressant. It may be something minor which is going on, or maybe something marital issues or family issues, in some difficulties in family dynamics. If they can discuss it, and if they can be supported, they may not. The issues can be resolved.
yeah.
You know, I'm just trying my best to resolve these issues in any way and either way, so it doesn't go to the stage where they become psychotic. And if the depression starts early, as I said before, early intervention is the best answer to
My
every
last
problem.
question to you, and very important question.
Yes, Amina.
Anybody with any mental health illness, is that reversible?
Of course. Why are we here? Why not? Depression can be treated, anxiety can be treated, psychosis can be. I myself, many of my patients when I used to work in the crisis team, and I used to be in liaison service as well, sometimes patients do come, they have taken some illicit substances, they are acutely psychotic, and when these drugs are withdrawn and they are treated, they are back to normal. And if somebody is suffering from depression, they take the advice, they take the medications, they recover. Why not? It's not something permanent. But unfortunately, some illnesses are enduring. They can be long lasting, that they need medication and treatment for longer duration than the other. It all depends. Different disorders, different illnesses, and different people. Obviously every patient is different. It's not the same. Even two sisters, if they have the depression, the two sisters will
react differently.
be different. Their symptoms will be different. Their response to the treatment will be different.
Exactly.
And their recovery will be different as well. So I would advise, my advice to people is that if you have any mental health is
Seek
escalating,
help.
Seek help, please. Come forward. We are here for you. We are here to listen to the mind.
Perfect. And that's the reason I asked this question, that anybody who's listening at home and they're not coming forward that, oh, it's done, damage has been done. No.
Yeah.
You can, if you are getting a treatment, seeking help, every illness can be treated, but it's just like we have to make our minds up that we need medical help. Dr. Razia,
thank you very much. You have so much contribution. I must say thank you to you before you say thank you to me.
Thank you so much. It was lovely
It's
to
very
have you in
kind
the
of you.
program. That was the
Very
first part of the program. We are not going to finish the program. We have a second part. I'll take a small commercial break, and then I will again come on the screen with two other guests.
My last
Yeah,
message.
yeah.
My last message to all the viewers: let's make this world safe. Let's work together. Let's help each other and love all the human beings.
Thank
That's
you
my
so
message.
much. Thank you
very
for
much.
this such a lovely message. So we will take a short commercial break, and I'll see you shortly. And obviously the grief to all the families which have been suffered, who are suffering the losses of their loved ones, whether they are in India or in Pakistan, because for us as a human being, humanity matters. That is the most important thing. But whoever is actually trying to play this tactic and try to play politics to destabilize any state or any country is morally wrong. We have been hearing in the news, and especially from our the analyst, the senior analyst, they have been discussing from months that India is actually looking for an excuse to attack Pakistan again. And I'm sure most of you have known that in May India did the same, but fortunately it raises Pakistan's stance in the world, and it has actually elevated Pakistan on a separate level. Now the world is treating Pakistan on a different level. So that means it was Pakistan was the one who was winner, and that's why Donald Trump, wherever he goes, he praises Pakistan, he praises the Prime Minister of Pakistan, he praises Field Marshal of Pakistan, that they actually won the war, and the number of aeroplanes the losses Indian Air Force has suffered, he knows the figures. Sometimes he says 6, 7 and 8. And also, this recent attack in India has actually raised alarm bells, and most of those analysts or senior journalists who were hinting towards this, that India and Modi especially is looking for an excuse to attack Pakistan again, does sound real now. The question is Pakistan army ready to respond if on this occasion, at this point, India tried to do something? But when I look at the current situation between Pakistan and Afghanistan, and as I'm sure you all have, if you're watching the news, and you must have seen that Pakistan is trying its hard to negotiate a peace deal with Afghanistan and ask them to sign the treaty where they can take responsibility of any insurgency or cross-border terrorism, that they will stop it, they will try and eliminate those groups from their country who are actually using their territory to attack Pakistan. But unfortunately, we are not reached a resolution yet, and these talks are still pending. There was a recent round of talks on 6th of November, but there is nothing concrete which we can discuss, or we can see that, oh yes, we have achieved results. So I'm joined by both of my guests again. So if I can see them on the screen, I'm sorry, I think I lost both of you due to technical issues. Apologies for that. So let's discuss the recent attack today, which happened in Islamabad, and yesterday it happened in Delhi. I'm not comparing these two incidents, but I think the first and foremost thing is that both incidents are disastrous. Human lives, we have lost human lives, but the similarity is that they both happened in the capitals of respective countries. So Shabir Hussain, I'll start with you. What is your take on that?
First of all, obviously, we're very, very sorry, very sad on this unfortunate incidents, whether it's in India or Pakistan, no matter what it happens. Innocent lives, wherever they are lost, are lost. And it should always be condemned. It's very unfortunate that we have such a situation with India. Otherwise, we could have resolved these issues mutually, and things could happen much better. Today's attack in Islamabad, as you mentioned, is basically has already been taken care of, and it has been really blamed to the Tehreek-e-Taliban. I don't know if it is only the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, but what I was reading, it is the Afghani nationals who are involved in it, and they have the proof for that. They probably are listening to all those things, whatever has happened. And as you know, the Afghan Taliban had been warning before this all happened, ever since this negotiation is going on. Afghanistan was really giving warnings to Pakistan that they'll start doing all this. And it's coincident that this has happened so simultaneous in both the capitals in India and Pakistan, which raises some kind of eyebrows. One can always say it's tit for tat sort of a thing, which is an unfortunate situation. And again, as you mentioned, the 12 lives lost on both sides, 12 in Islamabad, 12 in Delhi also. But it's a very, very sad situation. It should be resolved somehow or the other. When you say that, is there any likelihood of a war, or India is finding ways to attack Pakistan? Obviously, India has been accusing Pakistan for all these things for a long time. And India will try to engage Pakistan in one way or the other, but I doubt if they can really make such a big mistake. Pakistan army seems to be pretty prepared for all this, and they are going to have a very, very befitting reply from the Pakistan army.
Asif, do you think is this the same group who has operated against India and Pakistan? Because they, in both incidences, they targeted the capital of those two respective countries.
Well, Samina, it's all speculation at the moment. It seems like they're the same kind of people. These people can be bought and they can be used. We know how the modus operandi is in Afghanistan for a very long time. Taliban was a very, very bad idea for a very outfit from the right from the start. People have been talking against it, and we were always very, very apprehensive about their involvement into these things, and they were always going to cause a problem for Pakistan. And now that's what we are seeing at the moment. It could be they can be used by anyone. Honestly speaking, they can be used by any forces, whoever want to use them, and they'll be used.
Right. Asif, same question from you. Do you think it's the same group who has operated against two countries and they targeted the capitals of those countries?
Samina, loss of life anywhere in the world is sad and is condemnable. And all our life, we've been hoping that we will see peace, lasting peace between India and Pakistan. But we go one step forward, and for some reason, we move back two steps backward. It's very unfortunate, and especially since Prime Minister Modi came in power, he has. It seems that he is adamant that he wants to see uh, a war between India and Pakistan, and I think there might be a third party involved in this who wants to see escalation between India and Pakistan, and both countries should investigate and should be very, very careful because they are both nuclear armed countries with huge population representing some old civilizations of the world. So I think it is weight on shoulders of both India and Pakistan leadership to analyze it before making a hasty decision.
Right. So, do you think, Asif, it is now justified? For example, after the initial incident, we have not had so much detail, but I think whatever the initial investigation is, that this person was Afghani origin or member of TTP. Do you think now?
Basically, Savina, when by mistake you said TLP, yes, it is accused by Pakistani government that he is Afghani national, but there might be other internal factors at the moment. There's a lot of unpleasant things happened in Pakistan,
Yeah.
and
No,
there's segment of society are unhappy.
my question is, Asif, sorry, my question is that now, unfortunately, Pakistan and Afghanistan are not able to reach to an agreement. They're still trying. I don't know what is in it which is actually stopping Afghanistan to make a deal when there are so many proofs, not from now, from 10, 15, 20 years ago, that there are some element in Afghanistan. They operate their organizations from Afghanistan and they are involved in cross-border terrorism. Afghanistan is accepting it. Do you think that the hardliner stance of Pakistan army, and especially the words of Field Marshal Asim Munir, now are they justified now to use force against Afghanistan when they have actually reached to the capital of the country and where they have had a suicidal attack today?
Again, there are so many factors. I mean, Afghanistan has been unstable for a long time.
But that's a history. I know we have discussed it so many times. That's a history, Asif.
No, not
we have to make a strategy.
No. You need to understand. We need to keep saying this, and also that there are so many areas of Afghanistan who are still not under control of Taliban. There are so many areas where terrorists are operating freely. So I think even if they try their best, there are some areas that they can't control. But I will stress that the present regime of Pakistan, present government of Pakistan should try to initiate dialogue and try to formulate a way, try their best. Because as you mentioned earlier, we cannot fight on all fronts. As Pakistan is surrounded by big neighbors, then a hostile neighbor in our backyard, Afghanistan, and then we cannot stretch so much. Our army is not so much. We don't have that kind of resources that India has. Their budget is $78 billion. Ours is less than $10 billion. So I think we should try our best to find a way to negotiate with the
To negotiate
Taliban,
with
try to
Afghanistan,
persuade
right?
them to find a way forward.
Right. So, Shabir Sen, do you think that Pakistan has tried enough to strike a deal with Afghanistan, but unfortunately they're not serious? What should they do? We have good friends like Qatar and Turkey. They are actually, hats off to them, they are the ones who are still trying that these countries should sit and talk. But how long we can wait for these negotiations to happen, and they are actually getting more time during this and regrouping and they're attacking?
Well, Samina, as Asif has said, there is a need for initiating a dialogue, but that dialogue has already been initiated, and that seems to be failing altogether. We have put in Qatar and Turkey, and maybe another country would jump in. Uh, Shortly, or something will happen. But honestly speaking, if you ask my opinion, it will be very difficult for us to negotiate with the Taliban because they don't really come to those terms at all. The best would have been that as it all started, the JIGA, as it was called for by the KP government, that should have been given a chance at that point of time, and they should have really initiated kind of a dialogue with the elderlies of the other part, on the other side of the country, for that matter. But that never happened. We have so many difficulties, internal political problems, and instability, and they are taking advantage of that. And when you really are vulnerable on both sides, Indians are taking advantage of that, and the Afghanis are taking advantage of the other side, for
Yeah.
that matter. You got to be very, very careful. It's as I mentioned, it's not that simple that we have the capacity to fight on both fronts. India would definitely want you to fight with the western border, with the Afghanistan. Although Afghanistan is no match, but still they can engage us. They can cause us so much trouble, like these kind of bombs, these suicide bombs, and all sorts of guerrilla warfare. We have been mastering this field for a very long time. We've been facing this for the last 20, 25 years, for that matter. But still, we cannot afford to lose so many lives. Every day we are losing lives. So there is, at the end of the day, it is going to end up with the negotiation. Our political solution is the only solution that is possible. But at this point of time, I would think that the government should really show the force, and they should not really show any weakness, and army should let them come to the terms. There's no other way. We do want to have a political solution to this, but we cannot really be taken hostage to their demands. They are really not sensible enough.
Yeah,
They are not really asking
yeah,
anything
that's a
good.
good point. My another question to both of you, and if you can answer simultaneously, that would be great. So, we have signed, we have a defense agreement with Saudi Arabia, which actually indicate that if there's somebody attack Pakistan, it will be deemed as attack on that on Saudi Arabia, and vice versa. But Saudi Arabia, I don't know, I've not heard it, but I'm sorry for my ignorance if I don't know anything about it. I have not heard where Saudi Arabia showed interest that, okay, let us speak to Afghanistan. And I'm sure if they try and negotiate, Afghanis will give them some preference. What do you think, Asif?
I think that defense treaty, or whatever you call it, is a one-way love affair. I mean, I can uh, assure you today that even India attacks Pakistan, God forbid tomorrow, Saudi Arabia will only issue a statement. They will not do anything for us. End of the day, we have to fight with our
For
own
ourselves.
army, with our own strength, and with our own resolve. Nobody is going to help us. And I think that agreement was for some devious reasons. I don't know. I can't get into detail in this short space of time. But because our regime at the moment, it does things cosmetic things. They get happy because Trump praises them, but they don't think about ground reality. What kind of treaty India is signing with America? What is happening in the world? They just get happy. They just do a circus play in front of world media, and that really makes me sad. At the moment, I come to Afghanistan, same thing. There is a thing. Listen to Khwaja Asif. He's a non-serious guy. He doesn't talk sense. He was earlier on, before I came to your show, he was live on a TV channel. So it looks like that he is reading somebody else's script. He doesn't talk about Pakistan's national interest. That is my big issue with these guys at the moment.
Right. Okay. So my question was actually, and let's move on to Shabir Hussain, to yourself. My question was that why Saudi Arabia is not offering help to speak to Afghanistan, and I'm sure that they will not disappoint them. What's your take on that?
Whatever agreement we are talking about, although I missed a little bit of conversation in between because I just got disconnected and I was unable to listen to your answers or debate on the issue. But what I understand with the Saudi Pakistan agreement, what you were mentioning, it's not very clear what kind of agreement that we have signed with Saudi Arabia. Probably it's not in our favor at this point of time, and we always try to make big deal out of nothing. And Saudis are never going to do anything good to us if we keep hoping for them to come in and help us out of this kind of a situation. Pakistan, at the end of the day, has to rely on its own resources, own strength, and that's where we have to stick. We don't really want to have a war with Afghanistan, definitely not with Afghanistan. We don't want to have a war with any neighbor for that matter, but the point is if Saudi Arabia can help, they would, but here we are. They haven't really offered anything as yet. They probably have so much of their vested interest in Afghanistan already. Saudi is kind of a face of America here. Or how would you expect all that thing? That's where it is very important to really resolve these issues politically. Otherwise, we are going to be at a loss. And we have to look for whatever is good for our country, for our own national interests.
Right. Right. Let's move on to the next topic, which is obviously a very important and very I think it sparked a new debate in the politics of Pakistan, is 27th Amendment. And I was just, I'm just sharing this thing just to lighten our mood. I've just on my Facebook saw somebody, he mentioned that, today's suicidal attack is done by Pakistan Armed Forces so they can deviate people's mind or deviate the subject of 27th Amendment. I mean, we do think on these parameters as well, so which is very dangerous. But anyway, so Asif, 27th Amendment, Senate has passed it. There were few comments. I'm not sure if you have seen that live session, but I have watched, not all of it, but most of it. But still, one of PTI senator gave vote in the favor of this amendment, and then he tendered his resignation as well. What do you think about this?
Basically, Samina, I will not only answer this question. I was studying all amendments that after 73 Constitution was passed in Pakistan National Assembly, and it was unanimously passed. All parties agreed. It was Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's era. And the first 2-3 amendments were made by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto himself. There was only worthwhile one which Ahmadis were declared non-Muslim. I studied all these amendments, and most of these amendments are for self-interest of whatever dictator or regime came in power, to safeguard their own interest, to make sure that nobody takes them to court after they, for example, if they retire from the army. And this become to a ridiculous point recently, where a sitting army chief wants immunity for life. I mean, where does this come from in a democratic, so-called democratic
Sitting
society?
president, you just said.
And sitting president.
Yeah.
And sitting president.
Yeah,
That obviously they have something on back of their mind that they have something, they have done some
But
bad
that
things
is
in
very
their life.
difficult to understand. Why does he need immunity for lifetime? I mean, I don't know.
So the only person who can do accountability is Israel once they die. I mean, what kind of joke is this with Pakistan? A country of fifth largest country in the world's seventh nuclear power, the most, it makes me really sad. There is no constitutional amendment for the welfare of people of Pakistan, for human rights. There's no constitution amendment that we have four large provinces. One province is uh, so huge, is more than bigger than maybe 50, 60 countries called Punjab. You could have done something to administratively make it better. You have done nothing for all those children who are out of school. You have done nothing of the 40% population of Pakistan who is living under poverty line. It's all for all these dictators and politicians who have done corruption or who have committed crimes. This is how I sum it up.
Right. So, Shabir Hussain, what do you think? Why President of Pakistan needs immunity for a lifetime? What has he done? Or what are the worries actually?
What a country, to be very honest, what a sad story of Pakistan. We have seen that all through our history. This is what is happening. It has always been might is right, and the people don't really seem to be concerned about it. They can't do anything. They seem so helpless. Everything happens for the personal wishes of individuals, and things do happen all the time. As you both said, we don't really understand what is the need for all this. Why do you want to have the immunity for the life? Uh, what's so wrong have you done? And is this the reflection of a society that seems to be very vengeance? It is going to be very revengeful. People are going to really do something very bad to you. Have you done so bad, or whatever it is? So those are the factors which are surrounding us, and it's a sad situation. Even if you have something positive out of whatever points that you put into an amendment, even then it becomes so dicey. It becomes so, I would say, not acceptable to the people. But it's a sad thing. Nothing else can be said about it. And let's see whether it can really go through it. And when they go through it, what will be the outcome for all that? But I think they have at the back of their mind that they'll probably be able to drive this society the way they want to drive it, because they have been doing it for the last 75 years. So this society seems to be a dead society anyway. But it's a sad story of Pakistan yet again.
Right. Now,
Also,
whatever
Samina,
we say, sorry, yeah, Asif?
studying all these amendments, there is only one tenure when no such constitution was brought or passed, and that was Imran Khan's.
Sorry, say again?
There was only one tenure of a political party of Imran Khan where there was no such resolution, such amendments were brought or passed in the parliament.
Yes, but having said that, I think it is very important, no matter how we disagree with 27 amendment or people agree with it, but still I believe that there should be, these amendments should, we should try and incorporate our constitution with, if anything happens, because world is changing every single day. We can't keep our 1973 constitution forever.
Yeah, but
there
for
should be
welfare
some
of people of
amendments, but
Pakistan.
that is not something that we have not done any amendments, so that is the big thing. I think we should be taking the amendments, and especially when it comes to the parliamentarians. That's their job. They're lawmakers. They should make laws, they should change them. But yes, there are certain elements of 27th Amendment people may not agree with. Now, there's another thing which is very important, and that's the main part of this constitutional amendment, is constitutional courts. People are actually also trying to criticize it. But do you guys also don't agree with constitutional court, this new constitutional courts setup?
Well, Samina,
Yes, Shabir.
there could be, I'm saying there could be so many good things about it. It should be debated. The point is, the political environment at the moment in the country is so bad that people won't really take anything good even as a good. They are
Yeah.
always going to perceive it as a bad
As a
thing.
bad.
And people don't understand what the constitutional courts are, how they are going to operate, what is their duties, the way they have been projected or handled till now, what we have seen. We don't see any justice being done at all. That's what they say, that the justice must be seen. It should be seen once it is done. People don't really see that. Everywhere you're taking the law in your own hands. This is what people are saying, I am the law. Say, for example, I remember watching a film in my younger days, an English film, Sahara, where one of the Emir of Saudi Arabia or whatever, he kidnaps a girl and he brings it, and the Amir says, give her to me. And he says, no, it's mine. She's mine. And he says, but I am the law. This is what is happening in Pakistan. Everywhere they say, I am the law. You can't do anything.
But don't
When
you
you have
welcome-
that
don't
kind
you
of
wel-
environment,
Don't you welcome this decision of establishing these constitutional courts? Because how I perceive it, I think it's a good thing. Justice is always delayed in
That's-
Pakistan.
That's what I said, Samina. The problem is, whatever you see, whatever, even if you do something good, when you have such political environment in the country and you see whatever else is happening around with the Justice Department, with the courts and everything, you see everything negatively. It is not really going to be perceived right. This was not the way to bring it in. It was, you should bring in all sorts of things. As you said, we need to live in the modern time. We need to live in today, and we need to address our issues according to the time. But the problem is that for the last so many years, this is what we are seeing, that there's no justice in that country at all. So
There's
it
one
should have been
point
debated.
Yeah, one point I agree with you, that unfortunately when we are doing any changes, especially changes to this scale, we should prepare ourselves and just make our public understand first. There should be awareness, there should be discussion about this, debates about this, that this is the change we're going to make. It will help our country in this way, so people can think about it. Bring something in abruptly obviously can jeopardize anyone's confidence.
Samina, you are right. You just pointed out something very important. In Pakistan, things are done in other order. They first pass the law in haste, and they're obviously, that's why people doubt them. It's because of their track record, it's because of their intentions, it's because the way they have done things. No, I mean, why this was not discussed in Pakistani media? Why it was not discussed in the National Assembly? It was not even properly discussed in the Senate, and yet it's passed and it becomes a law. And when it comes to judiciary, you have seen in the last since the 26th Amendment was passed, Supreme Court of Pakistan is becoming irrelevant, is fast asleep. Do not disturb sign is on. So much is happening in Pakistan, and Supreme Court of Pakistan is fast asleep. So that's why people of Pakistan doubt their intentions, because they do things in a dubious way. And their track record, the people who are running Pakistan at the moment, their track record is such that nobody is willing to trust them. That is a simple answer.
Right. Okay, so now unfortunately, because we three of us are not qualified in our legal fraternity, we're not lawyers, but we can just discuss these issues as an ordinary citizen of Pakistan, or citizens, or just somebody who wants to have some interest. So that's why we are discussing it. But yeah, I am in the favor of constitutional reforms. Whenever there is a government, any government, it should be their prime responsibility to make sure that they bring constitutional reforms. That's their job. They are sitting in the parliament. They have to make laws. They have to amend them. They should do it for the best interest of their public. I think I have few minutes left, but I just want to touch base on Zohran Mamdani's win, which is a big win. And why it's a big win? Because the billionaires of America and throughout the world have tried their hardest to stop him, but they failed. And he is the man, 34 of your age, and he's the mayor of New York City. How do you both perceive that?
It's a great news, honestly speaking. It's people are getting much more aware. America is taking lead on that account, for that matter, and New York is one of the most important city of the world. And in such a big city with such a drift from dynastic politics to the left wing politics coming up, and he has been very outrightly speaking about his ideas, his mind. He has been aligning with himself with the general public, those issues which are not addressed by those billionaires for a very long time. If we see the current scenario in the world politics, those who are rich are becoming richer every day, and those who are poor are much more aware of their rights, and they're not going to let that happen in that way. So this is probably the verdict for those people, that you can't get away with whatever you're trying to do.
True. Asif.
I am really pleased to see this young man bringing about change in America, and he has been elected as mayor of one of a very important city of the world, actually, New York. And I just hope that people of Pakistan will get that luxury, that they will elect somebody, and he will be accepted.
Let's
and he
celebrate
will be
Zohran
allowed.
Mamdani, Asif. Let's celebrate him today. Forget
Yeah,
about
I'm
Pakistan. That's last
celebrating.
question. Just
At the same time, I am actually acknowledging their strong democracy. American, even though American president hates him, but he still managed to become mayor of New York. That is something which is very positive.
Asif, you have said a very important point. Even though the President of America might not like him, but when he actually won, he offered his support to him. So that also shows political maturity in America, which is unfortunately not in our country. Whoever is, I mean, they're all very politically
in our
mature.
country, nobody accepts your mandate. That's the problem. How can we progress?
Even after getting a mandate, if you do not give that respect to your political opponent, that doesn't exist in our society.
Yeah,
No,
that is very
without
unfortunate.
naming any names, I think everybody is included in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, both of you. Thank you for your time. And as I mentioned, that unfortunately, three of us were not constitutional expert to discuss 27th Amendment. So I would request Dr. Liaquat Malik to join me in my program on Thursday, so we can discuss 27th Amendment in detail, which can give obviously a lot of knowledge to myself and to my viewers. And I have sent an open invitation to him. Unfortunately, he was not here today. Otherwise, I thought to ask him to come to my program so we can have a discussion. But I'm sure if he's available on Thursday, we will discuss this amendment in detail, because I believe that it is our responsibility to make our public aware what is 27th Amendment, because they don't know. Whatever they're watching on news or on TikTok videos or YouTube videos, the way they are explaining it, people are accepting it, which is not the right way. I think we have to present this amendment in a way that people can understand, so then they can make the decision if it is good for the country or if it's, again, they will be worse off. This was my program. Thank you very much for joining me and watching me. I will see you again on my next program on Thursday between 7 and 8. So goodbye for now.